We get a scan every couple minutes. This is now moving very fast off to our northeast at 60 miles per hour. So if you live in the Herrick area, you need to be in your safe spot right now because this is got a very, very strong rotation signature with it. That velocity is, that couplet there is very concerning to look at. And so this is definitely going to be a one to watch.
Jack, a scary situation unfolding here tonight.
Yes, it is. It is. We're going to get those warnings here in just a moment. We just got some new ones I want to pass along to you. And as it kind of clean up, the National Weather Service has kind of cleaned up some of the other warnings. You have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Ford, Iroquois, Livingston counties. Radar indicated 60-mile-per-hour winds. Let me turn on my regular radar. And that's got some strong winds with that due to a couple line segments there.
Hey, Jack, is that right?
Yep, I've got it up here. So we've got it for Champaign, Piatt, and Vermilion counties. At 10:15 is when this one expires too. So we're gonna have a lot of warnings that expire around 10:15. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how these all play into effect here. These still have radar indicated winds of 60 miles per hour. Hail really has not been much of an issue, but we have multiple lines now within this just kind of mess of rain and storms, and there's enough still with the radar to be picking up on some of these stronger winds on it. So that's why there is still a threat for some strong winds with it. Severe thunderstorm warning for Champaign, Piatt, Vermilion counties that goes until 10:15. We won't forget about you guys, but definitely we are keeping more of a closer eye out on that southern storm with the tornado warning because the velocity still looks good with that one. But again, some strong winds will be expected essentially along and north of I-74 for many locations right now. We'll keep it on mind. We'll just take max one full screen here as Kevin's getting some information from Bryce. We do have, like I said, still looking at the main threat, though, with that southern storm to be the tornado warning there. It still looks very good with our velocity. We have the inbound and outbound winds showing that rotation couplet there. And also now, too, which I have not seen with this one, and we can pull me back up now. What you'll see with this one is that we have threat considerable, Kevin. So we've not seen that on any storms, at least that I've seen in our viewing area just yet. There was this tag with some storms for tornado warnings in the St. Louis area, but now we have a considerable threat for our tornado warning in southern Shelby County. Kevin, over to you. Debris tracker doesn't exactly match up with where you think it needs to be. That's because it's being blown far away from the actual center of circulation, which just shows that it is a strong tornado that is most likely on the ground.
And then looks like there's another warning down there.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to show is that there is now a new tornado warning coming out of the St. Louis area, which now goes back into Macoupin County. So after they just got done with tornado warnings in Macoupin County not that long ago, we have a new storm that has formed and is now producing a has rotation with it. That's why there's a tornado warning with it, and it does go into Macoupin County. What's crazy about this is the fact that typically if you're going to get counties that have repeat warnings like this, it's in the spring and the summertime when you have a lot of energy to work with, very warm temperatures, a lot of humidity. The fact that we're talking about this in December, that you can get, and even in spots that are worked over. You know, a lot of times we'll talk about the atmosphere being worked over from an earlier round of storms. Storms that are coming behind that, they can't be as strong. The fact that we can have storms still be strong, even in the atmosphere that's as worked over as it is, just shows you, Kevin, that the upper atmosphere support for severe weather has been very strong for today, and it makes sense that we're dealing with all these warnings that we have, just because this is pretty rare to have happen, especially in December.
And Jack, you've got that pulled up there as well.
Yep, I've got a track on that. So again, kind of more of a zoomed out view, just because we can't have these, we can't have it zoomed in with these storms because they're moving too fast. These are still moving around 60 miles per hour off to the northeast. So we had to zoom out to be able to draw our cone here. But the Stewartson area at 9:53. The Strasburg area, 9:56. Neoga just after 10 at 10:02. Paradise, 10:06. Mattoon at 10:11. Charleston, 10:20. Hutton at 10:22. Ashmore, 10:28. Martinsville, 10:31. And Marshall, 10:41. Again, this is moving very quickly. And so we've been watching this storm move from the southwest to the northeast, and many times it's been in between about 50, 55, 60 miles an hour. And so we wanted to put a track on it. So these would be obviously many locations are outside of the actual warning polygon for our tornado warning, but this thing is going to hold on and keep its strength and be able to come out of that warning and likely fire off a new tornado warning. And so we just want to let you know down the line to also start to get prepared, especially if you live a little bit farther away from the actual center of circulation. You got a little bit of some time here, but this again is moving very fast. So if you live closer to the center of circulation, like your Stewartson area or Strasburg, you want to get there pretty quick. Kevin, back to you. It's heading more in a northeast direction.
That's correct.
You know, so it's not more of that. Well, it's always was moving northeast. It seems like it's turning a bit harder to the northeast, which also usually is good in terms of it weakening, and that's probably why the velocity signature doesn't look as impressive anymore.
Yeah, let's watch it. We'll just back this up.
Also, just wanted to point out too that on our a max one, we have our tornado watch that does go until 2 o'clock tonight. They have pulled Menard, Cass, and Morgan counties from the tornado watch, so that's some good news there. That we're starting to see that as these storms pass by, that we're going to be able to give the all clear. So Menard, Cass, and Morgan counties, and you know, in Cass County, Kevin, earlier on this evening, there was likely a pretty significant tornado in that county. So good news for them that they're going to be looking at the all clear. But again, it's only 3 counties of our viewing area. We still have many counties that are left over here, and that does go until 2 o'clock tonight. So there's no way that we're going to be totally all clear until at least after midnight, because especially watching some of those storms coming in out of the St. Louis area with that new tornado warning that's in portions of Macoupin County, that one may also last a long time too. So it'll probably be a late night for us, Kevin, but just want to point out some good news there with the tornado watch.
As we look at the velocity on this, there's still a little something there.
Yeah, I tell you. And it was a strong storm for it, so it to have totally just dropped off velocity-wise is going to be pretty hard to do. But yeah, like he said, he's in the rear flank downdraft. It's still got strength, and you know, even if it kind of lines out a little bit more, doesn't necessarily mean that we can't see a new tornado warning pop back up again at some point from that one. And it just shows you, you know, that was just one scan. So after a few scans of weakening,
here we go.
Strengthened. There we go.
We got it. Between Windsor and Gaze on 16 right now, that is rotation.
And it's, I don't know if you saw this, Kevin, it's moving at 80 miles an hour.
Okay, yeah, this thing is
absolutely racing.
It's booking it. And this is moving to the north and east.
It's now at 75 miles an hour. We've got it as a confirmed tornado, which makes sense. We called it that before they popped that. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be getting into the Mattoon area, just to the north of Mattoon here. We're thinking within the next 5 minutes or so, if not even already there.
Jack, you got a bunch of towns here.
Yep, a bunch of towns
potentially coming up.
Yep, and again, because of how fast this thing is moving, we have to zoom out, so it might be a bit more to the northeast than what this cone is showing, but still, if you live anywhere near these areas, I'm going to be calling out here, definitely go into your safe spot. Mattoon, right now, you know that we've been saying your name for quite a while now. Charleston, just in a few minutes at 10:10. Ashmore, 10:17. Maybe even Paris, 10:31. Now, these are picking up on some of the bigger locations that are going to show up here, some of the bigger population centers. So if you live nearby some of these and your name and your spot has not been called out, you still want to make sure that you take shelter, because it's going to be picking up on some of the larger population areas. Chrisman, 10:36. Clinton, 11:43. Back over in maybe even looking into Danville at 10:48. So Kevin, we are looking at this to be moving very fast. Still, last check, 75-mile-per-hour northeasterly track.
Rotation. I will say this rotation has weakened a little bit on this.
Yeah, it's weakened a little bit on this one.
But wow, how quickly did that last one kind of kick up?
Yeah, it's almost like the last one kicked up because its rear flank downdraft kind of spun itself, almost like it spun itself back up again. And, you know, we just got to watch out for that, because, again, we've been talking about it. This is the southern storm. There's nothing that's been off to our southeast or south to really impede any of the good moisture and the good conditions to have these storms continue to go on. So there's nothing that could stop this one except for itself, essentially. And so that's why we're still going to be looking at this one to maybe still potentially hold on to its strength and maybe do what it just did.
All of these, you know, we still have several severe thunderstorm warnings.
All the way up to Fort and Iroquois County.
Yeah.
All the way up to Shabans. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for 60-mile-per-hour winds up there, too. So we have warnings from the northern edge of our viewing area almost all the way down to I-70. And it just shows you that this is, again, a very conducive environment for these storms to continue to hold on to their strength for multiple hours.
trees down, power poles bent along Route 16 just northeast of Windsor, silos blown down, and houses damaged between Windsor and Gaze is the official report coming in.
And that matches up with, you even saw, as Jacob was even approaching the Gaze area, you could see what probably was going to be the aluminum from some of those silos that was strewn along the highway. The good news is that velocity really does not look to be as good anymore, but it is still there, and there's even still like one little spot that we're still kind of watching for, just kind of north of the Luxa area, northwest of Charleston, kind of right in there. There's still a little spot that we are continuing to keep an eye on,
and eventually kind of the Edgar County area as well.
Yeah, so it's now moving at 60 miles an hour, so it's a little slower now, which is good.
Still pretty quick to try to keep up with, obviously, but.
Okay, so they've cleaned it up, so now we still have they're still keeping it as observed right now, most likely out of precaution because of how fast it's moving and how we saw the damage in Gaze, but and they're not saying that there's not a tornado on the ground still, but the velocity looks to be a lot better, which is good news there. But it is still there, so there still could be a tornado on the ground, and so we need to make sure that we're still taking precautions for those who live in the Rardon area, Hinesboro, Oakland, and eventually getting to maybe outside of the warning area near the Brockton area, just to warn folks down the line. Because, again, it's still moving quick at 60 miles an hour, but it's not the 80 miles an hour that it was when that warning first got popped off.
There, so he's going to keep kind of maneuvering around. Listen.
So we got the new tornado warning for it. We got it for Coles, Douglas, Edgar, and even goes into a little bit of that southeastern corner of Vermilion County until 11 o'clock, and it's moving at 70 miles an hour. So it's fast again.
So fast.
It's fast. And so that's, again, it's going to be hard for us to really, you know, show you exactly where it is because our radar image will already be a couple minutes behind what it's actually doing.
So fast.
It's these tracks that we'll do here. We'll put a track on it, but again, this is all relative because of how fast it's going to go. It's quick. It's quick. So, again, the Rardon area, 10:30. Oh, let me move it here a little bit. Let me start that over. Again, just to give it even a little bit of an extra heads up, just because of the fact that it's moving so fast. And
they just popped another one back on that Fayette Montgomery.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's pretty interesting the fact that. That's an area that's been worked over.
Normally, you'd be like, okay, you're done.
It's done, yeah.
So there it is, just popped up.
So yeah, I mean, if you live in the Chrisman area, Garland, Redmond, Sargent, the Hume area, Metcalf, Ridge Farm, Georgetown technically is on the northern edge of that warning into Vermilion County. The Woodyard area, Scotland, Burlett's Creek, Edgar, Wetzel. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that goes around it for the tornado possible tag with that one. And that one goes until 11:15. So, you know, we're still going to be looking at this to be impacting locations in central Illinois for at least the next 45 minutes, despite the fact that it's moving as fast as it is. But that tornado warning back off to our southwest, again, it's just for December 10th. It just shows you that, you know, we were worried about the setup for tonight. Our temperatures right now are still extremely mild, and so there's just plenty of ingredients to work with. And it's 65 right now in Effingham, so that warning that's in Fayette and Montgomery County could very well go over the same counties that we've just been talking about already tonight. Yeah.
10 or 11 mile track there, possibly there, from between Windsor and Gaze. And so...
And that was moving at 80 miles an hour at that point. So it covered that very quick.
It did.
We've also you know, we still do have that tornado warning that's out there. It is still a confirmed tornado warning, and it's near the Hume area. Well, now it would be off to the east of there now. It's really approaching 150 very quickly because it's, again, the warning still has it for going 70 miles an hour.
Let's go back to this other storm here, Jack. that we've been, you know,
Yeah, it's
the second one.
It's a Boeing segment, so with some of these Boeing segments, you can potentially have these go on for a little bit longer. Sometimes the Boeing segments can have a bit of a longer track, but the Coffeen area, you know, that had been showing up on a lot of our warnings. The Ramsey area too, you know, that was what, an hour ago when we were name dropping those locations. So, I mean, it's not that far behind. So there is, with these kind of line segments, these Boeing segments, you can get at times a little bit of a brief spin-up tornado. This would probably not look as impressive on our velocity as what the other storms did, but we still do have a little bit here and there of some indentations within a line of stronger winds, and along that you can typically get some sort of rotation that can pop up at times.
I want to go back to this storm here that we were looking at that was in Ridge Farm, and Jack pointed it out there, and he was absolutely right. There was a correlation, the TDS dropout that occurred.
Yeah.
You can see there's nothing there, and it was there for more than one scan. So there it was, you know, there it was again, and then we kind of lost it, but it was there for a couple of scans, and then it went into Indiana. So there was maybe a little bit of rotation in there. Could have been a weak little spin-up tornado that hit there in the Ridge Farm area. If anybody's got any reports of that, you can let us know. Let's see here. Things calming down a little bit.
Yeah, we still have some warnings out there, and you know, we still have that Boeing segment that is now going into western Shelby County. It's in southeastern Christian County, and there still is a tornado warning for northern Fayette County, the Ramsey area, for spots that, you know, we just were talking about like an hour and a half ago. And these, with the Boeing segments, you're going to have some stronger winds. So this one might actually be kind of more of our first indication of some stronger straight line winds over a wider area. That severe thunderstorm warning with that one does go until 11:15 for 70-mile-per-hour winds. It also still, though, does have the tornado possible threat and also a considerable damage threat with that one, too, as a tag. And that one is the one that is for Fayette and Montgomery counties, heading through the Ramsey area, getting towards the Vandalia area right now, crossing over Highway 51 a little bit ago, and we'll be looking at the Carson area right now.
We're still watching that, and there's still a lot of lightning on that southern storm there, Jack, and we'll watch that and see those storms that are going into Indiana now.
That's the thing. We've got things kind of cleaning up here with our radar. We have our severe thunderstorm warning that still goes until 11:15, so the next 20 minutes for Edgar and Vermilion counties. The tornado warning that we've been tracking, that cell that has produced all these tornado reports and the confirmed damage, is now into Indiana. So the cell itself is over into Indiana now, has crossed the line. We still do have a tornado possible tag with our severe thunderstorm warning that remains, again, for Edgar and Vermilion counties, just because some of these little cells still have the possibility to produce some spin with them and could drop a very brief little spin-up tornado. But the cell that has what we're going to probably call a long track supercell thunderstorm that produced all these tornado reports, that has now moved off into Indiana now. So that's still continuing to move off to the northeast, but you know, it wasn't that long ago when it was coming out of St. Louis. So we had been really talking about the overall strength in the atmosphere for some of these storms to develop and move very fast. The atmosphere definitely did support some very fast-moving storms tonight, as exhibited by the fact that we had some tornado warnings that were for 80-mile-per-hour movement on the ground, and that would just mean that the winds themselves will be even stronger. Kevin, back to you. And they put a new warning out for it.
Oh, did they?
So,
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
so that goes for Coles, Cumberland, Effingham, and Shelby counties, and that one does go until 11:45 tonight. Still for 60-mile-per-hour winds. The hail, not really much of a concern. The nice thing, though, is that this is for a severe thunderstorm warning, so there's no tornado possible tag with it, unlike the one that's still left over for Edgar and Vermilion counties. So that's some good news there. There is still the tornado warning with it, with that Boeing segment, but if they were concerned a bit more, they would have put the tornado warning or the tornado possible tag with that within the severe thunderstorm warning, and they have not done that. So that's some good news there. We can still get some widespread, very strong winds and straight line wind damage, which in some times can actually end up being worse than tornadoes, because our tornadoes usually are very small, very localized, but you get an area that has a large swath of strong winds, that will do a lot of damage over a wider area. But we'll keep an eye on things with that one, because as of right now, that is our tail end Charlie, and it again has nothing down to the south. The thing that's interesting about it, though, is that it is moving over air that has been worked over, and it's been worked over not that long ago either. These storms that the supercell thunderstorm that produced all those tornado reports, it wasn't that long ago when it was over this same location. So we'll see how this goes with it, but a line segment like this, the Boeing segment, is going to be a little bit different than the actual supercell thunderstorm with the tight rotation that it had before. It'll be a little bit different. So we'll keep on watching it. And, you know, we've got a number of hours still, we're thinking, before we're all in the clear. Some of you, though, are in the clear as of now, which is at least good to hear. And we got a new tornado warning for Fayette County.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to let us talk about this new tornado warning here real quick, Jack.
Yeah, we got a new tornado warning for Fayette County. We've got it as radar indicated still, moving to the east at 65 miles an hour. And this one would be, you know, the tornado warning is technically a little farther south than the one earlier on. So this is definitely kind of more impacting the Vandalia area, but we've got it located over the Mulberry Grove area, moving into the Fayette County area, moving to the east at 65 miles an hour. So this is going to be another fast mover. It's basically on the highway right now, so it's going to be crossing over into Fayette County here very quickly, and it'll be moving through the area very quickly thanks to its speed of 65 miles an hour. They're kind of cleaning up some of our warnings too. We've lost the warnings for Vermilion and Edgar counties, so that's all good there. So really just watching these southern storms, that Boeing segment now, for the severe thunderstorm and the tornado warnings that we do have. But we can go to Jacob when you're ready to go, Kevin. Just like in the song Smooth by Rob Thomas and Santana, man, it was a hot one. Temperatures today were in the upper 80s. Yeah, love that song.